All right, hello everyone. This is Rabbi Bolton, and let's do the HafTorah. The HafTorah this week, HafTorah of Parshat Bo. Parshat Bo is Moses telling the Egyptians that he's bringing upon them all these plagues. Telling Paro he's bringing these plagues, and finally we have the last three plagues ending with the first smiting of the firstborn. So there was something that was a little bit similar to that happened much later, the end of the first temple. So there was a prophet called Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu. And Yirmiyahu had a very tragic sort of a life because he was a very great and a holy person. But the last like 26 years of his life, or something like 37 years of his life, how long? 27 years of his life, he prophesied to Jewish people that didn't want to hear what he had to say. That was the whole idea of his prophesying, because the Jewish people didn't want to hear what he had to say. Is why do you have to prophesy? Because the Jewish people were really not in tune with what God wanted. Okay. So what happened over there? The first temple divided as soon as King Solomon passed away. So the kingdom of the whole country of Israel divided. And there was 10 tribes on the north and 2 tribes on the south. That lasted for about 300 and something years, and 130 years before the destruction of the first temple, there came a king called Shalmaneser, and he conquered all these 10 tribes and scattered them around, took them in captivity. To this day, nobody knows where they are. This is like, 2,500 years ago, long time. That's what's called the 10 lost tribes, right? So these 10 lost tribes, they're lost. So they're gone. But before they got totally lost, so Jeremiah was going and prophesying to them also and trying to comfort them and tell them that don't worry, in the end it's going to be okay. I mean, what's the end? The end is like 2,500 years later, but nevertheless he told them that it's not the end. And we're going to see it a little bit. Okay, but the main prophecies of Jeremiah were to the 2 remaining tribes. That was called the kingdom of Judah, Yehuda. That's where the Holy Temple was. In those days, there were 2 big powers. One of them was waning, and the other one was waxing. The waning one was Egypt. Egypt ruled over everything. It ruled over everything for a while. And then all of a sudden came Nebuchadnezzar from Babylon, and he started conquering things. And Egypt sort of thought that they could defeat him. And the remaining kings of Judah thought maybe they could make alliances with Egypt. In the end, I mean, we know what happened, the whole thing but before the destruction of the temple, as came along a Nebuchadnezzar, here he's called Nebuchadrezzar. I don't exactly understand what's that mean, why that is, but he's called Nebuchadnezzar, and he is coming to destroy Egypt. So Jeremiah is basically saying to the kings of Judah, the last one of them was called Tzidkiyahu. Don't try to make alliances with Egypt, because they're going to get destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar and by Babylon, and of course they don't listen. And so, okay, so here we go. Let's go. Ready? This is the HafTorah of this week. So Jeremiah was there. He saw the destruction of the first temple, and he was taken also into captivity. Not a very pleasant story. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's go. Where is this? What's going on? Oh. Adavar, this is the word Asher Diber Hashem, that God spoke to Yirmiyahu, the Jeremiah prophet, Hanavi. Lovo Nebuchadrezzar when Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babel, was coming to smite the land of Egypt. Now, of course, you can ask a question. Egypt and on these countries were mighty, mighty countries. They ruled over the whole thing, and Israel was this little small thing, just like now. But everybody knew that Israel and the prophets of Israel were the main thing. So Israel was always a central point of contention in the world, right from the beginning, right from the time of Abraham, as soon as Abraham got it, and even before. Here we go. Okay, ready? So now we have Egypt. Should beware. You better beware of Nebuchadnezzar. Hagiru b'Mitzrayim. Say, this is what God's saying. Say in Egypt, v'hishmiu b'migdal, v'hishmiu b'nof. Let it be known in these different places, Migdal and Nof, u'b'tach panches. There's different interpretations, but there's different places or different. Omru hityatzev. Get ready. Ve'echin lecha, and be prepared. Ki ach lacherev sivivecha, because the sword is going to destroy everything around you. Everything around you. Let me just see this, that I get this translation correct. Okay. Madua nischaf averecha. Why do you, 1 second, 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, why are your strong men, your big men, all swept away? Lo amad, they can't stand. Ki Hashem, because God is pushing them away, because God is thrusting them down. In other words, it doesn't make any difference how big your army is. As soon as God decides that you're not going to succeed, you're not going to succeed. So Egypt, they were pretty sure of themselves. They were pretty powerful. But we'll see. Hadavar harbe koshel gam nafal. You will trip, they will fall, ish al re'el, one over the other one, soldier over the other one. V'yom say, Kuma, let us stand up. V'nishval amenu, go back to our nations, because they had all these mercenaries, armies. Vel eretz moladatenu, mipnei cherav hayona, let us run back to our home nations because of the sword of the oppressor. Oppressor, in other words, Nebuchadnezzar is coming. Kiru Sham Paro Melech Mitzrayim Shaon Ha'avir Moed. Call the name of Paro, the world, the how do you say, the enemy. They call it the Paro. They said, Paro, hey, you big king of Israel, you're the big king of Egypt. Your time is up. Your time is up. Chayani. As sure as I am alive, says the king of the universe, namely God, the God of hosts. This is the name, by the way, we talked about a lot today. The Jews, this week, the Jews got out of Egypt. They were called the God, they were called the hosts of God. And Chana prophesies with this Hashem Tzavos, this name of God. God has Tzavos, because that's talking about how God is going to reveal himself even in the lowest places, and can't get much lower than Egypt and Babylon. The God of hosts is his name. Ki Tavur, just like there's this mountain of Tavur and the mountains and the Carmel of the sea, as Yavo, it's going to come. Just like the mountains are standing, so Egypt, you're going to fall. Kli Gola Asi Loch Yoshevet Bat Mitzrayim. Make vessels of 1 second. Yeah, make vessels for exile. Let's get ready for the exile. Lo Yoshevet Bas Mitzrayim. Ki nof lishma tihiyeh benitzasa me'ein yoshev. Because your whole country will be desolate. It'll be desolate, like a big wasteland without anybody dwelling there. Nof, I guess, was a big city over there, and is somewhere in Egypt or the Egyptian area. Egla Yafafia Mitzrayim. Egypt is like a beautiful, like a young calf. Kiritz Mitzafon, well, a destroyer from the north is going to come and slaughter you. Like a calf is slaughtered. Gam Sechira, also your hired mercenaries, Ke'egli Marbek, are going to be slaughtered like fat cows. Kigam hema hipnu, they will also turn around and run away together. Lo amdu, they won't be able to stand. Ki yom idam, because their day of judgment is coming on them. Eight pekuratam, the time when they will be visited, accounting of visited. This is the prophecy of Jeremiah, right? Kol hanachash, the news, it will go like a snake. Ki bechel yelchu ubekardumos ba'u, because with a tremendous army there's going to be, with like chopping down wood. Kachutz ve'etzim, they're going to chop all of you down like wood choppers chop down trees. The trees they can't oppose. They just stand there and get cut off. So it's going to be also you, the same thing with you. Why? It says, Kartu Yarel, they'll cut you down like a forest, no Hashem, and they'll also cut down your forests. Ki lo yachkar, you won't be able to even count. Ki rabu me'arba, they'll be your enemy. The Babylonians, they're more than like locusts, ve'en lehem mispor, and they cannot be even reckoned. There's going to be so much. Hebishu bas Mitzrayim, be ashamed. Egypt, nitnu biyad am tzafon, you, because you're going to be put in the hand of this northern nation, namely Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. Omer Hashem Tzavakos, God, the God of hosts, the God of Israel says, behold, I am visiting on Ammon. Mana, I'll give them also a portion. I'll paro and on Egypt, and on his gods, and also on the kings, and on Paro and all the people who trust him, because Paro had all these countries that he was like protecting, and he said, he said, I'll protect you. You don't have to worry about it. You just pay me taxes, and I'll protect you. It says it's not all those people who are trusting Paro is they put their money on the wrong the wrong king, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. He's not going to be able to protect them. There we go. I will put them in those who want to kill them. Will be Nebuchadnezzar and the hands of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and the hands of his servants. And afterwards, Tishkon Kimei Kodem Umashem. But afterwards, Egypt will be able to sit in quiet for a long time, says God. Oh, the good part. And now you, HafTorah of Yaakov. But you, now God is telling Jeremiah what to say to the Jewish people. There's going to be all these wars around you and all these countries that conquered you and etc. And Nebuchadnezzar, of course, eventually he's going to conquer the Jewish people. He's going to destroy the first temple. It says, but you don't be afraid. Al techas, do not be in trepidation. Because I will save you from far away. And your seeds, me'eretz shavyam, in the place where they are enslaved. Now, of course, they weren't slaved yet, because, and also one second. This prophecy, of course, which is being made here, this is talking about now. This is talking about now that I'm going to return everybody back. Vashuv Yaakov, Vesheket Sha'anan Ein Machrid. That Jacob is going to come, return, and it'll be calm and peaceful. And there will be no reason to fear. It says, okay, there's no reason to fear. Very good. Then you, HafTorah of Yaakov, do not be afraid, my servant Jacob, the Jewish people, says God, Ki itchani, because I'm with you. Ki eseh kala, I will destroy all of the nations. Right? There's no Babylonians around now, and the Egyptians now are totally different Egyptians than it was before. That I've pushed you there. The only time the Jews were pushed into nations were after the second temple was destroyed. The first temple was destroyed, which that's what the immediate situation here in Jeremiah. All the Jews went to Babylon. They didn't go other places. But when the second temple was destroyed, then the Jews got scattered. He says, I'm going to take you from the nations that you are scattered. So obviously this is talking about the second temple. But I will never destroy you. I will never destroy you. I have dispersed you, but I will never destroy you. I'll spread you around all the nations. I'll gather you, but I will never destroy you. V'sakticha lemishpat, I will be severe with you. V'nakeh lo nakeka, but I will never destroy you totally. So God is going to say, I'll destroy the first temple, destroy the second temple. Jews, you'll be scattered all around. There's going to be all sorts of terrible things that are going to happen. But Jews, you're always going to exist. I am always with you. That is this week's HafTorah. Jeremiah chapter 46, sentences from 13 to 28.